Let's be real, the real estate market is feeling pretty intense right now. I mean, we're seeing home sales at decades low numbers, there's all this chatter about AI changing everything, and a huge wave of consolidation is happening. It feels like a lot. But what if all this chaos is actually a massive opportunity in disguise? Today, we're going to walk through a playbook for not just surviving, but actually thriving in this market. And it's all based on some amazing insights from T360 CEO Jack Miller. Okay, let's get into it. And this quote right here from Jack Miller, it really sets the stage for everything. It's such a powerful way to look at things. This isn't about just digging in and waiting for things to get better. Nope. It's about figuring out how to use these changes to your advantage. While everyone else is kind of frozen, you can be making moves that will set you up for success for years and years to come. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to completely reframe this market downturn. Then we'll get into the weeds on this great consolidation trend that's reshaping the whole industry. After that, we'll look at why a classic brokerage model is starting to fall apart. Next, we're heading to the front lines of the battle over listings, and we'll wrap it all up with a call to action you are definitely going to want to hear. All right, let's start with a really big idea. This tough market is actually a goldmine of opportunity. I know that might sound a little nuts when you're looking at the headlines, but just stick with me here because this is where the real edge is found. You know, Miller really gets it. You're out there in the trenches, feeling that pressure from low sales, trying to figure out what AI even means for you. And you're watching companies join forces left and right. It's like a triple threat. But these exact things, the things making everyone else pause, are what create the openings for people who are ready to make a move. And that leads us right into the next piece of this whole puzzle, the great brokerage consolidation. This isn't just some trend happening in the background. It's a major force that's redrawing the map of our industry as we speak. So why is this happening? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. Miller points to three big drivers. First, you've got the market challenges themselves, which are really squeezing profits. Second, a whole generation of brokerage leaders is getting to that age where they're looking to retire. And third, let's face it, running a brokerage is just way more complicated than it used to be, pushing a lot of people to look for the safety and resources of a bigger company. And you can see this happening in real time. Deals like the Compass Anywhere merger are getting done at lightning speed. But Miller throws in a word of caution here. The regulatory rules could change. What's easy to do today might not be tomorrow, which adds this layer of urgency for anyone who's thinking about making a move. Okay, this next part is a really game-changing insight. It's a big one because it kind of challenges what a lot of us have always believed. It's time to talk about why that everything-to-everyone model is starting to fail. So, what do we mean by the everything model? Well, just picture that classic brokerage that tries to be the perfect fit for every single agent. The brand new agent, the top producer, the team leader, the solo agent, you name it. It's the one that wants to have an answer for everyone who walks in the door. And yep, this slide just says it all. As Miller points out, that one-size-fits-all approach, it's really starting to buckle. The market's just too specialized now, agents have wildly different needs, and the competition is just too sharp to do everything well. So the big takeaway here is all about focus. Miller is basically telling brokerage to pick a lane. Know exactly who you are, who you serve, and what value you bring to the table. And hey, if an agent's business doesn't fit your model, it is okay to let them go. In this market, clarity is your superpower. Trying to please everybody just makes you average. All right, let's shift gears and step into the arena for our next topic, the battle for listings. This is a huge tug-of-war going on right now between private networks and the good old MLS, and it has some serious implications for every single agent. So, in one corner, you have these new private listing networks, PLNs, popping up on platforms like Compass and Zillow Preview. And in the other corner, you have the MLS, which has been around forever. But here's what Miller says. The real winner isn't going to be decided by the industry. The consumer is going to decide. Because when a seller's phone isn't ringing, they're going to demand one thing: get my house in front of as many people as possible. And with all this talk about disruption, Miller argues that the core value of the MLS is actually stronger than it's ever been. It's efficient, it makes sure the data is good, and it handles all the compliance stuff. But there's one massive benefit that almost everyone forgets about: data protection. The MLS has the money and the mission to fight legal battles over data for its members. That's a shield that you just don't have on your own. And all of this, it brings us to our final and honestly our most important point: why you absolutely cannot afford to hit the brakes right now. This is where it all comes together for you, your team, and your future. I mean, this statement from Miller is just so powerful. The pace of change, whether it's tech or consolidation or strategy, It isn't slowing down. It's actually speeding up. It's accelerating. And in a world like that, if you're standing still, you're actually moving backward. Deciding not to respond, that is a choice. And it's a choice that has some pretty big consequences. So what do? How do you respond? Here's your checklist for success. You invest. You invest in your tech so you can be more efficient. You invest your time to actually understand and use AI. You invest in conversations with other people in the industry to stay ahead of the curve. And most importantly, you invest in your agents, giving them what they need to win in this new world. And this brings us all the way back to the beginning, back to that idea of opportunity. The one silver lining of a slow market is clarity. All the noise just fades away, and you can see really clearly who is actually getting things done. In a market like this, taking action creates results you can literally see and feel. So, we'll leave you with this. These huge shifts we've been talking about, consolidation, AI, new strategies, they aren't some far-off thing. They are happening right now. The industry is accelerating. So the only real question left is, are you keeping pace?